Hello and a very warm welcome back to the garden. Now this is a moment I've been waiting months for, and it's an absolute honour to be able to share it with you on camera. And just so you know, this is a hybrid video, so I'm doing this opening, which I'm sure you're excited to see first, and then in the second part of the video I'm going to be giving you a few tips and words of advice based on this, but it's all linked. So yeah, last year I spent, the biggest project was writing a second book, and I know a few of you might be scared of this knife, so I'll just put it down for a minute based on a video last year. To cut the story short, I wrote a book. Now the first advanced copy has finally arrived, and I'm so excited to open it up. And I wrote this book because I believe so many people, getting close. I believe so many people could benefit from being able to learn how to garden in a different way. And so I'm going to ramble after I've opened this because the tension, I arrived home late last night, but I couldn't film this video till today. So it's it's quite a sleepless night in a way. Wow. Okay, here we go. Wow. It's my new book, Grow Food for Free. Oh my gosh, it feels, look at that. Oh wow. This is really nice. I might do a quick flick through for you just so you can get a real sense of it. Oh my gosh. Look at that, second book. Now this is a very surreal moment because it still doesn't feel like I'm an author after Veg in One Bed came out, of which it has sold something like over 30,000 copies and is coming out in French, Dutch, German and Danish, which I'm so grateful for. And now I have another book coming out about a year later, and this is the UK edition. There is a US edition which has come out in paperback. So I just had to take a moment because something like this doesn't happen every day. There's a set up your veg patch, there's a first chapter, produce your own compost, source seeds and plants for free, how to grow perennials, and that's everything from sourcing to growing to propagating, how to grow annuals, then fighting pests and diseases, then looking ahead. There's also a journal, which is something a little bit different because we thought it'd be really nice to show you how a year could look of growing food for free. And this is actually starting from scratch. So whether you're a seasoned gardener and you're looking at ways to reduce how much money you spend in your garden, or perhaps you're starting out, you're wanting to grow your own food. So many people say that it's too expensive, so they don't bother. And so I'm showing you how to do this for free. And so the journal is a prime example of this, just walking you through every single week. I've got April, May, just with pictures and different descriptions, just to give you an idea of how a year could look. And this book is packed full of ideas, whether you're in a rural, urban or a suburban area. As well as a journal, I've created a really simple 3-year plan. So you can look through year 1, year 2, year 3, and this is just starting from nothing. Even if you don't own a garden, there's ways of finding places to grow food. So this is basically, I believe, the manual that you need to be able to grow an abundance of food without having to spend any money. And lots of really important things. I have a spread about permaculture and how important that is. And one of the primary focuses on this book is all about soil health. Because I and a lot of other gardeners believe that looking after the soil is the single most important thing you can do. So throughout this book, a lot of it talks about how to do that and how simple it is. And the whole idea, like Veg in One Bed, is to not make it overwhelming and to try and just make it as easy and as attainable as possible. This book is built on being able to grow an abundance of food without needing any money. So I think it's key that I read out this section on why cost is no obstacle. Over the years, I have heard a whole host of reasons why people are reluctant to start growing their own food, and one of the most common is that it's too expensive. I find it deeply saddening that this misconception persists in society, and that, as a result, so many people are not only put off, but are also missing out from a fantastic opportunity. Fired up by a strong desire to set the record straight and a lot of passion, I've written this book with the intention of passing on all the information you need to grow food for free, and this involves basic gardening techniques such as sowing and planting, but making a success of it requires to look at things a little differently. Changing your mindset and seeking the value in what others might regard as trash is key. I hope that this has given you a nice feel for what the book is all about, and something I can't stress enough is, unlike Veg in One Bed, which is just focusing on annual vegetables, and there's annual vegetables in here of course, but there's also a focus on perennial fruit, veg and herbs, which are absolutely crucial when it comes to growing food for free. And so let me give you a few tips to get started before you get your copy, which would absolutely mean the world to me. It's available for pre-order now, and the links are down below in the video description. The first tip is to start to collect containers to store water in, because when you're growing food for free, you can't simply go out and buy an IBC tank or a water butt. Now, these containers can be as simple as things like if you have a car and you buy screen wash for your car, or perhaps you have a car that requires AdBlue, these 5-litre containers or gallon containers are excellent. So just give them a quick wash out and keep them to one side, and these will store a lot. You can also ask your friends, family and neighbours to save their car screen wash containers, for example. And something else they can save is milk bottle cartons. These are excellent. These are basically mini watering cans in themselves. And something else you can do is, if there's a local cafe that you use, get them to, rather than putting the milk cartons in the recycling, get them to put some aside. And in a week I did this with a local cafe and managed to save the equivalent of around 50 litres of water, which is quite a bit, especially when it's really hot and you have seedlings to look after. The second thing, which will save you a bit of time, is to just work out what your average first and last frost dates are in your area, and I've provided links down below in the video description to make that easy, and that's for if you're in the UK and in the US, and there are similar sites online for other countries around the world. This is really important because at least you get a better understanding for how much growing space you have in terms of space in the season to be able to grow your tender vegetables like courgettes or zucchinis, for example. In the book I do talk about frost protection and also how being patient is really important, but just making note of those dates of the average first frost date and average last frost date will give you a head start. The third tip is to save as many cardboard loo rolls as possible. I went to my local hotel, I gave them a recycling bag, and about 2 or 3 months later it was full with about 200 or 250 cardboard loo rolls. It's simply industrial waste, but these resources are out there. And 250 loo rolls worth of being able to use as containers to plant things in is quite a lot. The fourth thing to do is to work out when there are local community and plant swaps in your area. These are absolutely amazing resources, and even if you don't have anything to swap, there's other ways, which the book will tell you, of being able to get things from them. And it's a great opportunity to meet other local gardeners as well. So just have a quick look on the internet or ask any local gardening clubs, and just make a note in the calendar of those dates so you're all prepared and ready. And the final tip is to get a scrap piece of paper and write down a goal or a vision for your growing. And this can be as fun, simple, as quirky as you want. And it could be something like, I really want to be able to enjoy soups next autumn and winter just using vegetables that I've grown. Nice, warm, hearty soups from the vegetables that I've grown. And so make sure you write down a little goal like that and you're all set. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get your copy pre-ordered so it can arrive on the day of release and you can just go for it. And I will see you again soon in another video. Goodbye. Whew. It's It's really cool. It smells so good. I'm just eating this. Wow.